right. So today I have the honor of interviewing Joy Garner, who is a fantastic guest that we have on the show. She is the Executive Vice President and General Counsel of Think 450, which is an MBPA subsidiary. She is a sports and entertainment attorney. Joy, thank you so much for coming on to the Black Sports Network and doing this interview with us. I'm so excited to have you on.
Thanks so much for having me. Especially in these times. Thanks for making time for me. I'm really, really happy. Glad to see what you guys are doing. Nice to meet you, Brianna.
Absolutely. All right, let's kind of jump right in. Please tell me, what are 3 words that describe Joy Garner?
3 words that describe Joy Garner. I would say pretty diligent, hardworking. Should I just blow 2 on work?
That's all right.
The last one, I would say I want to say, my inclination is to say silly, but that's not. I'm not someone that takes myself or things way too serious. So I think the word's not silly, but it's lighthearted at the most.
Okay.
At the heart of it. So to the extent that you can be as diligent and hardworking as I can be, if you're a lawyer, everything is, dotting your P's and Q's. As a part of management of Think 450 here, it's very much making sure that we are moving the organization along and going at the right pace, that everybody's working at the top of their game. But bringing some type of levity to that.
Absolutely.
And being as lighthearted as I can be as we're going through the process.
I love that, because this year alone has been a lot, to say the least. We've had the pandemic, we've had social justice, we've had election. It's been a lot physically, emotionally, spiritually. Now, I want to ask you plainly, how are you doing? What drives you to get through your day despite all that's going on around you in the world?
Oh, okay. So there's a couple things. On a personal level, what gets me through my day is I move a lot. I am somebody that has to wake up, has to move, has to clear my head. I make sure I start the day with a very clean mind. That is, on a personal level, what's getting me through every single day. On a work perspective, I work for, the name of our organization is Think 450. And we have, and it relates to how many jobs there are in the NBA, right? 30 teams, 15 guys on each team, 450 guys. I work for men who, since most of them, since they're 4 and 5, they've been playing with the ball and have dedicated their lives to playing sport.
Absolutely.
And if I can't bring that same level of dedication to my work, to my day, they demand excellence. And it is my drive to meet that goal. I mean, we all fall short. There are times where, I disappoint myself because, we're not perfectionists. But I work for people who are at the best in the world at what they do. Right? They're the best in the world at what they do. And so that drives me very much so. I want to protect the MBPA's goal is to protect, support, amplify. And Think 450's job is to not only protect, support, amplify, but to generate revenue for the men as well.
Absolutely.
And so I want to do my best to do that.
Absolutely. It sounds like being around such amazing people and people at the top of their craft is infectious at your organization. So that's awesome.
It is.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of the position that you're in as a Black woman in a high profile position of leadership, what are some of the challenges that you see on a day-to-day? And being such at the top of your game, what in one of the best sports leagues and most visible sports leagues in the world, what are kind of the challenges of being that Black female authoritative figure?
So as far as challenges of being a Black woman in sports, I see there's, I try not to look at them as challenges. I try to look at it as, I look like the majority of the players' parents. I look like, not all of them. So there's a certain level of respect that comes in dealing with the guys. There's a certain level of understanding what they're going through, what things that are facing them. And so I try to take those things as when I'm meeting with people who don't have that perspective, which can be a challenge, right? There's sometimes somebody will say, well, your guys, they get paid so much money. They should just do that. They should do, and it can be, sometimes that can be a challenge, right? But I look at it as, I understand it. I understand what it's like for someone to work very, very hard to get to a place in their career. Absolutely. And at that place, demand the respect that they're supposed to get.
Absolutely.
From my perspective, in my place, gone to a certain level of education, worked my way from the bottom up, and demand that respect. And so to be able to communicate that way, and not be seen communicate that on behalf of the players, but also on behalf of myself, in a way that is not seen as, angry.
Absolutely.
Seen as boisterous. It is what it is. Sometimes you do have to be angry. But I think that could, I guess, be a challenge. But I try to look at it as also a blessing. And a perspective that many others may not have, and a benefit.
Absolutely. You have to do what you have to do, especially within your job and beyond, to be able to command the room and command the respect that you deserve. So I love it. Yeah. Kind of pivoting, because Think 450 is a very significant piece to the MBPA, the NBA. It's doing fantastic work. You are the VP, the executive VP of this subsidiary, head counsel, which I think is amazing. And Think 450 is fairly new. It was created in 2018, gave the NBA or the MBPA, power to collectively license, players' names, images, likeness as a group, right? For the person who may be listening to this video who is not as up to date or familiar with all that's happening kind of behind the scenes and what's going on, can you describe the significance of this move by the MBPA to create Think 450 and the work that you do?
Yeah, I can actually. It's
pretty amazing. It's phenomenal.
So we were formed came out of the CBA that was signed in 2017, right? Up until then, the NBA managed the image rights, the collective image rights of all the players. And so when you think about that, this is the NBA is an employer. The players are, for large part, employees, the workforce, right? And the employer was controlling where their images showed up, how they, as a group, not individually, right? Any player could have gone and gotten their own endorsement deals. Right. It was really but as a group. And so what the players thought was, not only do we think we can do this better? Do we think we can make more money doing this? But we want to have control of this. Every other we want to know and determine where our faces show up, where our names show up. And it's not to say that the NBA was doing a poor job at it. It's to say that it's my face, it's my name, right? I want to have. I should be saying where this ends up and controlling this. Absolutely. And so it's part of the creators taking control of their content, taking control of their images. Up until then, every other of the majors, the union was controlling those rights, and at that point, only the NBA, was one of the last strongholds, and the other unions had it for decades.
Wow.
Right. I'd met with a player in 2019, and he now runs a production company. He wasn't in the league in 2019. So we were talking about the Players' Voice Awards, and he was pitching to produce the Players' Voice Awards. And he said, oh, Think 450. He's like, what is that? That's how many jobs there are? And I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. He was like, that's right. And he actually had been really active in the union when he was a player. And he was like, well, what do you guys do? And I was like, oh, we manage the collective rights. And he dropped his mouth. He said, I cannot believe you guys got that those rights back. That's so dope. He's like, we've wanted it for so long. Do the young guys even know? And I'm like, I don't know if they know, because, if you come into it and you're like, well, obviously.
For sure.
But it was really good. It really felt really, really great to hear him say that like, we wanted so long. Congratulations. I'm so happy that you got that for the guys. But it made me feel good that we're doing something.
Absolutely. I mean, that's how I feel at the NCAA level. I'm like, you all get name, image, and likeness now? Like, what? That's
exactly right.
I was playing ball. I was like, I didn't get any of that. What do you mean?
They're still trying to figure it out. But yes, the fact is, and if you think about it, because I didn't know you played ball.
I did. I played D1 basketball, and my knees tell me that every day.
So when you think about it on the college level, right? Especially now, I'm going to call them kids because they are, right?
Absolutely. Hands down. I have no clue what's going on.
They're still kids. But they still, by that time, they have so much, especially in comparison to years ago when I first got into sports, so much equity built into their name, images, and likeness, just because of social media, because of, you can see them everywhere, all over the world. We had a kid come to one of our camps in 2018. He had something like 1.5 million followers. He was 12.
What?
1.5 million followers. He came to one of our camps.
Wow.
He was 12 years old.
Wow.
To tell that kid that he can't commercialize that 1.5 million people that are following him at 12 it doesn't seem as fair as it should be.
Yes.
So we're very happy that things are changing, and they're moving very slowly, and there's a lot to figure out, right? How is it going to get done? But I'm happy that things are moving along.
Absolutely. That you hit it right on the nail. That's real. You should be able to control your face, who you are, what you bring to the table. It's like, it's my face. It's my face. Exactly. I'd like to have some say in that. Right. So thank you so much for sharing that. And everybody who's listening will know the gravity of how amazing Think 450 really is, and the work that you all are doing. Now, I kind of want to pivot a little bit, because, we've had a lot of stuff going on because of COVID-19, right? This past year has been just completely unconventional in so many different ways. How have you all had to pivot at Think 450? How has your job kind of pivoted because of the pandemic? What is kind of to come going forward, especially in this like more so virtual landscape?
Right. So everything's gone virtual, right? At Think 450, like there's a clear divide between Think 450 and the PA, right? So the PA is busy working with the league and ensuring, the safety on the court, that the guys are safe when they're, practicing, going into locations. Think 450, we've always been on the commercial side, right? So we're working with brands, working with licensees, and they're used to being able to, I need to reach out and get a video, or I need to, and so taking all that online has that. I wouldn't say it's been a challenge, but it's actually really interesting to see like how much we were able to get done from March of last year through, let's call it, the start of December 22nd, virtually, just through Zoom, through Google Meets, through all the different platforms. We've done a lot more with frame up or whatever it is to get a lot more videos and things done. So we've taken our training that remember I said we had the camp with the kids.
Yes.
Taking our training completely virtual.
Wow.
A Famer app, which is allowing us, oddly, it's allowing us to get more player interaction, because before we were like a guy would have to come into New York to camp. Well, now, if it's virtual, he can host the camp from wherever he is. We just have to get the grassroots, the kids are involved in it.
I love it.
And logged on. So we're tinkering with it every day, right?
I love it. I love it.
But
that's pretty cool. I mean, you taking the lemons that we've kind of all been dealt through this time and making lemonade for sure.
Definitely.
You know? And that's amazing to be able to still be able to deliver a fantastic product to the world. Now, this interview, I'm going to pivot again. This interview is going to be airing during Women's History Month, a month that oftentimes does not highlight Black women enough and the beautiful intersections that we have to offer. When you think of celebrating Women's History Month, what stands out to you in your mind that is part of our history that you can relate to?
Let me think. And let me think about that. What recent history, the thing with Kamala, or
absolutely
president.
How'd that make you feel?
I don't know that I've ever been prouder. It's just one of those things that I never thought would happen. We got a Jamaican in the house.
In there.
We got a South Indian Black woman in the house. And what I say to people all the time, I say, I've never seen a Jamaican woman go anywhere by herself. And so she's going to bring people.
Everybody's going to be up in there.
We're coming. We are coming. Just extremely, extremely proud. And more for the kids that come behind as well.
Absolutely.
Because it just wasn't, and not that I wanted to go into politics, but it wasn't even an option. For sure. Right? I recently was listening to a Clubhouse.
I love Clubhouse.
Right? I'm obsessed with it, really.
It's so cool.
I was on the Elon Musk call.
Oh wow! Congrats! It was a hard call to get in.
Well, I was on one of the rooms that he had, because they were streaming it on multiple rooms. Wow! So I was listening to him, and he was talking about going to Mars. And the call ended about 3:00 in the morning, and I wake up every day at 5 and start.
Oh wow!
So I woke up at 5 the next day, and I laid in bed for extra 30 minutes and said, this man is planning to go to Mars.
Yes.
Part of his conversation, he said, was, I think it would take us about 6 months or so to get there, but I think we can get a month at a time off. And I said, he is trying to shorten the commute.
Wow.
And thinking about that, I had to look at what my goals were for the year and say, where is my Mars shot? Like we spend, and I think especially Black women spend a lot of time managing the day to day and doing it. I think we do it wonderfully, right?
Absolutely. Oh, hands down.
But managing our day to day and just trying to make ends meet. Try to make multi-million-dollar companies continue to grow.
Yes, doing it all.
Even the struggle is real when it's not even a struggle. You know what I mean?
Yes, I feel that spiritually. I feel that.
It's trying to be real. And so I had to sit that next morning and say, this man has time to think about going to Mars. Where do I need to sit back and figure out when. I don't want to go to Mars. I don't, that's not my dream, but I need to come up with what my long-term, what my big dream is. And I have to put that as a priority.
Absolutely.
And I'm not saying that I have one yet. but making time to make a priority that is that big, that is to dream that big.
Yes.
And one of the, to bring it back to your original question about recent history or historical figures of things that I can relate to is I think Kamala, or let me call her by her name, Madam Vice President, having the office that she has opened up the possibility and opened up the for younger women to say, you should have your Mars shot in the same way that Shirley Chisholm might have done. You should be thinking beyond the day to day, because every day is going to be hard for everyone, right?
It's real.
We do not live in an easy society. Not if you want to do well in it.
No,
the world is not easy. But you have to have a bigger goal. And
absolutely.
That's I'm very proud and very happy for what just recently happened, because I think it's helping people. It will help children to know that they can dream.
Absolutely. Looking at young just girls put their hands up to the TV and say, wow, like this woman looks like me. This woman is someone who I can aspire to be. It's so, gosh, it can like really move you, because it's just like,
right.
Wow. It's just like, wow, I wish I had that, you know, because now, you know, it's going to have a positive trickling down effect, because like, all right, this is what we have in the White House. This is what we're going to hire. This is what we want to reflect more diverse and inclusive society, which we're steadily moving towards more equity. And it's amazing to be able to see that on a day-to-day, like that happen during our lifetime. So definitely, I agree. It's phenomenal to even think about, like conceptually. We got a Jamaican, we got a South Asian
around that, right? Like,
right? HBCU grad, AKA everything. Like her stats are phenomenal. Like
we went to the same law school. Yes, she went to University of California, Hastings College of Law, the first law school in the state of California.
I love it. Okay, I see y'all. That's amazing. So going back to you and, thinking of all the work that you do, I was thinking immediately of legacy, right? Because you're helping to create these opportunities and forge relationships with these brands beyond the court and diversifying players' portfolios and incomes and all of that phenomenal stuff. Because obviously the ball goes flat one day, it's going to be over one day.
It does stop bouncing. Yeah.
Yes. And speaking of legacy, what do you want your own legacy to be? I know you want your Mars shot and you started kind of thinking about these bigger ideas, but what do you want your legacy to be when it's kind of all said and done?
I think about it. It should be, I want it to be education. I want it to be opening up the possibilities for younger people.
I love that.
When our business is licensing here at Think 50, right? We license the nils of the 450, right? Yeah. But that industry, for a million reasons, because of, it used to be based on manufacturing, and we know who got the loans and things back in the day. Many of the larger companies that work in this industry are family run. It is not inclusive, to say the least.
to say the least.
not diverse. It's not inclusive. And you talk to, there's no, in undergrad, there's no licensing major, right?
That's true.
You don't go to school to be like, oh, I want to get work in licensing.
Yes.
And so what's really important to me now in my day-to-day work is just talking to people and letting them know, hey, there's this whole industry out here and there's a lot of money to be made in this industry. On either side, right? As
absolutely.
Or the licensee or in retail. You like fashion, you don't have to be the designer. You
right.
You can be the CFO. You can be the general counsel. You like sports. You don't, like me, I was never coordinated enough to play. I cheered. I managed the basketball team. I cheered. Those are things that you can do. You can work in these industries that the possibilities are really, really endless. And I want to make sure that I'm opening up through education, through just granting opportunities, and out there just showing like, look, this is something you can do. If you want to work in sports, you can work in sports. You want to,
absolutely.
You don't have to, if you want to work in entertainment, this is another thing, right? You want to work in entertainment. Every major film studio has an accountant.
For sure. Cut in the check.
Somebody's got to do it, right? Why might as well be you? Every major has a control, someone that does the auditing controls. You can work in entertainment in 1,000 different aspects.
Absolutely.
Your parents are forcing you to go to college. Go ahead and get the degree they want you to get, but do what you want to and work in the industry you want to work in.
Absolutely.
And so,
thinking bigger.
Right. You could be the IT person.
Yes. Absolutely.
And grow that into a business that is huge, right? You can be the IT person at some company and end up being the CEO of a Take-Two Entertainment. There are ways to move, or it's not Take-Two Entertainment, but Take-Two, the people that do NBA 2K.
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I think that's crucial. It's crucial to think of organizations as, not a monolith. Like there's so many different things that you can do, right? There's so many different things that you can do and be able to offer your expertise and all of that stuff. So yes, you are right. I definitely, whoever's listening to this, know that you can be the IT person, you can be the lawyer, you can be the trainer, whatever. You don't have to be on the court or on the field doing the sport.
No,
to have an impact in the field that you want. So I'm going to segue into some quick fire questions.
Sure.
And you have to, it's this or that format, and you have to answer in either one sentence or one word or less. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Ready?
Yeah. No, but go. I'm going to get in trouble. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. Favorite NBA team?
Sixers. I'm from Philly.
I'm from Philly.
Go Sixers, go Eagles, go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Favorite city to be in?
Oh, favorite city to be in, though. I'm going to say New York strong, but for real, Paris.
Oh, wow, it's beautiful. I can't wait till we can travel again. But East Coast or West Coast?
East.
Okay.
East Coast all the way.
So I just got back from Philly. I lived in Philly for the past 2 years. Now, where are you grabbing a cheesesteak in Philly?
Oh, so I was born in South Philly.
Okay.
So, I'd have to say Geno's. I didn't live in South Philly, but I'd have to, just say Geno's just because for old time's sake. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I won't say anything about that.
You can say what you want to say. I haven't lived in Philadelphia for, I'll tell my age, but 27 years probably.
Wow. Okay.
So it's been a while. All
right.
But if I was telling you to go somewhere, I would say go to Broad and Diamond McDonald's. The owner there is fantastic.
All right.
Woman.
Fantastic. I love it. Anything Black owned. Favorite athlete?
Ooh. Right now, this is going to sound crazy. Sue Bird.
Okay. She's been doing some phenomenal work.
Phenomenal. And so smart. So great on the court. Everything she represents. I've worked in men's basketball my entire career, in sports, but those women
doing it
and making moves and being so brave in a way that, other athletes haven't actually had to do.
Absolutely.
As a female athlete, you
got a lot to lose.
Not a lot to lose, and always so much pressure on you.
Absolutely.
And so for the way that they move through with Grace, Sue right now is my favorite.
For sure. I love that. I'm a huge, I got a women in sports shirt on right now. Huge fan
Yeah.
of the WNBA and what they're doing
Mhm.
over there. Lastly, who's your role model? Who's your role model?
Wow. This is gonna, she's not gonna believe this if she hears this. Right now, I can't, my respect right now for Krista Chin is
Okay.
beyond. And I don't know, if she hears this, she's like, oh my gosh. For the career that she's built in this industry, for the reputation she's built, the reputation for excellence that she's built in this industry. If I leave sports and I have the reputation that she has, and I am respected for the work that I've done, the way that she is, I'll be very, very proud of myself.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. That's phenomenal. And that is the end of our interview. So we have just interviewed Joy Garner, who is the EVP and General Counsel of Think 450 of the MBPA. Thank you so much for taking the time out. Thank you for your answers. Thank you for being open and honest and just everything. This interview was everything. That's all I can say.
Thank you. This was great. Thanks so much. And I didn't get in trouble with the this or that. So I hope I didn't. We'll see.
I love it. All right. I'm about to stop recording.